when the war started in northern Uganda, and we had a prolonged war which lasted from 1986 to 2006. And in that war, the voices of the ordinary people were not coming out. The first impact of the war on me personally was actually losing all what I have in a twinkle of an eye. It became very important for us to start People's Voice for Peace because, as the name suggests, we initially wanted to be the voice of the voiceless. And if any visitor comes, normally we take them round because for us it's a collective responsibility. So on Tuesday, we visited 3 different organizations. We went to Justice and Reconciliation Project. This is an organization which has been documenting the massacres that had happened in Uganda, across Uganda. And recently they were piloting a project on local truth-telling and reconciliation. South Africa had the experience of a formal Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Ours is a local one, so it was important for that organization and all of us to learn and share these 2 experiences. We went to meet Gulu Municipal Development Forum. This is a forum that have just been created to help bring the voices of the communities in all the programs that are happening in Gulu municipality.
People died during the war. Very many people died during the war. They left children, they left orphans. And most of these orphans, you find them, they're all in the street. And what they're doing now at the moment, they're vandalizing.
And also in Gulu, we have a process of transforming the town to a city status, and that involves a lot of problems. Our view is to see how we could work very hard to see that this development-induced initiatives does not have a negative impact on the people. So we wanted also to learn from South Africa how they are trying to transform the township into satellite towns.
The People's Voice of Peace, they have helped in one way of sensitizing the community to know what they should do for themselves.
We visited an interfaith organization called Acholi Religious Leaders Peace Initiative. This is an institution created by all the religious institutions in Acholi sub-region. One of the groups that have been trusted by both the government to some extent and the rebel movement. So they have been spearheading the whole process of linking up the 2 institutions to talk peace.
The LRA can actually become another destabilizing force if the government of Khartoum supports it. So those are possibilities. And we cannot, for us, we have to prophesize what is there in the future so that the people know. So when it comes, people will realize that we talked about it.
We went to the traditional institution, the Kekal Kwaro, which is the cultural institution for Acholis, another group that is highly trusted, and especially the LRA had linked up with them for a long time.
Tong matung bot yon chan. Kwanyo tong matung bot yukan. Sigi gomu tong don le kuman. Gomu tong ajucha, gomu tong ajuturi. Tichaka chentin wundong peu bilwen tong nong che gomi kinu. Wund peu bilwen si wundong ber machado mego.
As part of their Acholi culture, we take any perpetrator, we look at them as people who can still be reformed. For us, our focus is on restorative justice. Cultural institutions in South Africa were destroyed by apartheid regime. So that is probably something we can offer in terms of learning to South Africa. And later in the day, we took the team out to the rural area.
When we stepped out of the vehicle at a village that was a former displaced persons camp, and these young people were singing and dancing and gave us a welcome that is for visiting dignitaries, and had such joy about it. And then they shared with us, when we got into conversation, they shared with us some of their experiences, which were very challenging, very, very gut-wrenching.
The majority of them are young children that were initially abducted by the Lord's Resistance Army, taken to captivity, and they forced them to do horrible things, and they tortured them so much. The girls that they have abducted, the young girls they abducted, they turned them all into sex slaves. So they were being given like pieces of cloth to commanders as wives. And most of them came back with children. And also the fact that the children were got as a result of sexual abuse. It is not really the type of relationship they would want to pursue. So most of them, they say they have gone back to their parents' home, but then they are to be responsible for their own children, and they need some form of support.
Ma kimagalum genu berati ma ye ali mu pa ma dir ne timu la ret ma la dir ma kimago ma gichiro yan jo kene ka do ol kinero gi mogo non piani wor cheng ta dano ber ka to ma dum ko pa.
Today we are holding a workshop. We have invited all these various groups. We have met, and also we have invited other solidarity groups that People's Voice for Peace have supported over the years. We feel that after exposing the Action Support Center to a number of issues, emerging conflicts that is happening in northern Uganda, and there are so many other problems, we would like to see how we can work in future as a family, and also we would like to see how the Action Support Center can help us to anticipate, to develop or understand the early warning systems that we could use to help us address the conflict before they become violent.